Bashan, people at the jail have joined our book club. So the first book they're going to be reading is The Inmate. But yeah, it is. But I will tell you, so we're just going to set our book club meeting for Don't Let Her Stay. And I figure we're just going to do it. A good day to do that would probably be Monday, right? Monday, what is that? Monday, the 21st? Yes, so Monday, the 21st, we're just going to have our book club meeting. We're going to get it out there. We're going to do it.
Okay.
And we're going to do it at 1:30.
Okay.
So we're just going to make it happen. All right, everyone, I'm going to call the docket. When I call the docket, let me know you are here. If you don't answer, I'm going to assume you're not here and a warrant may be issued for your arrest. In custody, we have Nelda Rios, John Jett Ellis. John Jett Ellis. I know there was some traffic on the freeway. Kevin Young. Oh, this is turning out to be a bad day for some people. Mark Anthony Rodriguez. Nicholas Cornelius. Thomas Blinko is in custody. Michael Herrera. Thank you. In custody, we have Kenan Brown, Miguel Rangel. Amanda Griffin. Amanda Griffin. In custody, we have Chris Lynn, Derek Reyes. Thank you. David Duenas. Thank you. Michael Ball. Michael Ball. I don't know what to do with all those vowels. That's my problem. Delina Glass. Delina Glass. In custody, we have Abdul Halik Alanezi, Christopher Morrison. Here. On that last name, I closed my left eye. That helped me pronounce it. In custody is James Ray Hernandez, Alberto Soto. Richard Ramos is in custody. MC Reed. MC Reed. We're going to find out what those first two initials stand for. And the 8 is, it's like MC Hammer, and you knew what the MC stood for. All right, Eric Flores is in custody. Bryala Butler. In custody, we have Trinidad Velasquez, Esteban Ramirez, Jordan Robbins, Matthew Dotson, custody, Nelda Rios, custody, Sean Griffin, Luis Camacho. Thank you. All right, you don't need to be on the first row. That's for people who are late. Cristobal Miranda is in custody. Griselda Rosales. Griselda Rosales. Richard Wallace. Richard Wallace. John Jett Ellis. Kevin Young. Mark Anthony Rodriguez. Amanda Griffin. Michael Ball. Delina Glass. MC Reed. Bryala Butler. Grisela Rosales. Richard Wallace. All right, is there anyone who came in late or your name was not called? Yes. I'm sorry, what's the first name? Do you know your case number or SID number? Do you know who your attorney is? Have you had contact with your attorney? All right, just remain. We'll make sure you get to see your attorney. Anyone else over here? All right, over here, yes. I'm sorry? 'Cause Do you know your case number, SID number? Have you had any contact with your attorney? Do you know who your attorney is? All right, we'll make sure that you get to see your attorney today, hopefully. All right, which court is that? We'll let them know you're here. Yes. All right, do you know who your attorney is? Who's your attorney? Leslie Sekwanowicz. All right, have you had any contact with him? All right, do you know your SID number or case number?
Procedural, sir. Procedural.
All right, who's with you? All right, I know your mom would have all that information. Thanks, Mom. All right, behind you. Mark Rodriguez. All right. Okay, you need to have a seat on the front row. All right, yes, sir. Have you had any contact with him? All right, just remain. We'll take care of that. All right, everyone, these are the rules of the court. Today is Tuesday. It's going to be a great day. The reason why it's going to be a great day is because it's not Monday. So there has been an uptick in COVID. There's an uptick or coming back is leprosy. My understanding there's an outbreak of leprosy. So I try to keep the courtroom as clean as possible and keep it as least congested as possible. So attorneys, those files over there are for criminal trial division. Just grab your files sitting on the criminal trial division table, which is right here. On this side is family violence files. Just take your files, sit it there, and then have a seat. They're going to call you in the order of appearance. Do not approach the court unless you've conferred with the state and the defense in your, conferred with the state and your client. If your client is in custody, yes, you need to confer with them. Do not approach the coordinator for a reset or continuance. I'm the only person that can give you that. When you conferred and you're ready to proceed with the court, just have the clerk, let the clerk know. The clerk will place your file here, have a seat. I will call you in the order of appearance. The only exception to that rule is if an interpreter is needed. We have so few interpreters that interpreters get leapfrogged to the front of the line so they can go to another court. When will you need an interpreter? If your client does not wish to communicate in the English language, you're going to need an interpreter. It does not matter if you speak their language, we need an interpreter. If you have someone who is in custody and you request them, do not leave the courtroom because the deputies are in charge of security and they can only have so few inmates in the box. Sir, please do not dress in the courtroom. It's not that type of party here. All right, so when you request your inmate, you can step outside and put it on. When you request your inmate, do not leave because if you leave, guess what? You're being a little bit selfish because that means that if there is another colleague here who wants an inmate brought out, they cannot have them brought out because your client is taking up a seat. This area here, Travis, can you raise your hand? See Travis there, you see that door? That's where inmates come out. Do not block that area. I've already told the deputies if they need to do something for security reasons and you're in the way, oh well. Now, this side on the left, you know what the oh well means. I should say yada, yada, yada. On this side is the court reporter. Diana, can you raise your hand? That's her office. Do you see all this equipment that's sitting there? All of that equipment is attached to a computer. Her equipment costs $10,000. Do not run your hand across that area. Do not lay your files on that area. Do not lean on that area. It's like Pottery Barn. If you break it, you bought it. If you disturb it and she says you broke it, you've bought it. And this area to the back is the CLO. Can you raise your hand, Bashan? That is her office. Do not put your items on her desk. Do not sit on her desk. Do not turn your back to her. Because if you turn your back to her and she's sitting down, guess what she sees? She doesn't want to see that. Now, I've given this instruction before and somebody actually went and sat on her desk and put their papers down. Here's the thing. If you do that, I will make it my business to come to your office unexpectedly. Whether you have a client in your office or not, I will come in your office, sit on your desk and purposely put some paper down on your desk in front of your client. So please do not do that with her. Does everyone understand the rules of the court? All right, everyone, it's going to be a beautiful day. Be kind and please confer. LaShawn, I give that instruction, but people still want to put stuff on your desk. You can accidentally knock it off your desk if they do.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm just gonna make sure
LaShawn, I wonder what Jessica Alvarez is doing. I wonder if she's up there trying to save Lupe's plants. They said Lupe is killing his plant. Oh, they say his plant is dead. I think they said it died from lack of water. Somebody, you know what? I'm going to get Lupe a plant, and you know what it's going to be? It's just going to be a fake plant. No, you can still kill a cactus.
You don't know if Quincy had a
Your
story.
client, are you gonna like do a?
But I gave Jessica, when Jessica left, I gave her an orchid. She was already in a relationship, but I gave her an orchid and it was doing fine. Then she left to go on vacation and she said, they killed her orchid. So we're gonna have to get her another orchid.
Shout out.
Oh, hey, Jessica.
6 years Air Force, he was honorable discharged, 2 years Navy.
Kevin, yes?
Just doing the, like when you go to Disney World and you go to every park. Like, just like kind of all of those. I enjoy hard copies.
He's on CWI probation.
I mean, I think it's good that he served. I mean, he's like,
And maybe you could see if you have contact with.
yeah. It's like we talked to her and she would walk with me about watching it. So, I don't know, it's like- It's like we just left their voice.
LaShawn, you're all okay with this person?
I think 14, she left us last time I actually got, so.
Yes. She can be by Zoom, but I have some questions about this traveling situation. Okay, so I'm just gonna put compliance.
Yes. Yeah.
We all expecting that response.
Yeah.
We are, it's first and foremost.
I mean, may I sit here temporarily, my name.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was waiting on Brittany. He's still here. He probably don't know this. Y'all do that in all.
It's good.
Yes, you are. I need one at the eleven. One in.
Who is that? Is that on? The victim in my case?
Correct.
What was he put on the first one? Okay.
How long? I don't know.
Like it might have been.
I appreciate you.
So when he was put on deferred when? Do you have any other criminal cases?
That's all that, that's all that. Everything that. Are you?
No, may I check, to see how many days you have?
CR 11792. Do you represent him on the phone, guy? Well, I mean, because it does mention that it has to.
Let me just wait for my partner.
You know, Robin Hernandez answered this morning. You didn't take it. You didn't.
Been in 108 days.
It also would you take.
They talk to her.
They're
I mean,
here at
that's-
9:01:30.
I mean, I'll make my observations, but.
Sounds good.
Well, maybe he
I don't see that
let's-
car either.
Maybe. But I'm making this based on.
Always there.
If she wants to see how.
I don't think so. Yes, she mentioned that we talked to her. And so. I know that's not anything that's it's not weird, but that is why.
Let me check on the head and see what it said.
This sounds
2023
Give it to me.
CR 3442.
If you wanna talk to them, suggest speaking on a proposal.
Robin Hernandez? She is, okay,
I think you need,
but she's in jail.
Veterans word, all that.
Is she on new charge or?
Okay, so in that case, yeah, we would need to talk to her about that and get her thought on it. Right now,
We were here 5 days ago, with these templates today. For some BS this.
Cancel them?
Okay, look, it should be coming.
There's anyone that's not gonna talk to her in the past.
Soto, trade places, you and him, Alanizi.
I thought it was.
Is it, who's it, who was it? What was it? One of them.
I have to write everything down. They'll take them in veterans for it today.
I'm not as familiar with the veterans word guidelines. Some of the others. Yeah, that's what- I don't think there's really. This is not right. Could have been, makes sense.
Garland Green, if you'll come forward. All right, were you able to get in touch with your attorney or no?
He never texted me back. I've been texting him for the past week.
All right. And can you check with the clerk?
On Garland Green, you see if you can look on and see if this case is free and valid or not.
We'll have an attorney for you.
123.87.
that's your freak out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think you have all the.
She said they have it.
Today was supposed to be the day, last day.
Is this case indicted?
Yes,
Yes.
his last name was July 18th, but he never, that was his deadline. There's none.
Could you pull this file for me?
Yeah.
All right, just have a seat. And then before we go, follow the call of the other people. Giovanni Flemings.
I don't know if she's.
Giovanni Flemings. Nicholas. Carrion. Yes, if you come forward.
Yes, and she's not.
She didn't show up.
All right. That's correct, right?
That's the two, pre-dated
Mhm.
and the fee is monthly.
And you haven't had contact with him?
I think that's him. The blue.
No.
That's not him.
That's him. No, that's not him.
But
All right, we'll see if we can get him here so you can have contact with him.
So.
That's you. Now we got a Deputy Laura. That's going on over there.
Squeaky mouse.
Amy, I never want anyone to say, well, I'm sick and we got it from the 187. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Well, now that I know what you don't want us to say, I'm gonna have everyone tell you that.
I think it's definitely the 144th is successful, right?
Yeah.
Did everybody get it again over there?
Oh, gosh.
They did.
Which Brandon started out with.
Mhm.
And then advanced family law is a big super.
Oh, wow.
I think it was 1,800 people.
Well, I know someone who went on a cruise and of the 32 people who went with them, 18 got COVID.
So 18 was more.
Just filed the virtual application allowed.
Okay.
So that was referred over to 5%.
Okay.
So.
All right. Nicholas, could I see you and your mom, please? Hi, so, hello.
Hi.
So his attorney filed a motion for an examining trial. So that's going to be heard in Judge Carruthers Court. Do they have a date for it? to present? They don't have a date for it set yet. But so he's filed that in this court, we don't have pre-indictment cases. The only time pre-indictment cases come here is if someone requested it. So once your case gets indicted, that's when you'll start coming to court unless your attorney wishes for you to come. And how you know your case is indicted, it'll have a CR number to it. So it'll be maybe 2023, then you'll see the letter CR. That means that it's been indicted. So have you been able to get in touch with him at all?
yes, he said it was a federal court that we were gonna come here after.
All right, so if you want to wait for him here, you can wait for him here. But since he's already filed the motion for an examining trial, unless he wants something to happen with your case, nothing's going to happen to your case today. So you may want to text him and see if he wants you to stay here. Otherwise, you can let your bondsman know that you showed up today.
Okay.
And that your case is really not on the docket today.
Okay. We need any documentation to take with us
No.
today or?
If there's an issue where the bondsman thinks he didn't show, you can have them call the court.
Okay,
All right, but we don't have a date to give you.
okay. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, have a good day. Hey, enjoy the rest of the day with your son now. All right.
Don't send him away because we have, it is that holiday. It wasn't normal with owls, so I don't know. There were people who order like food.
All right, can you call his attorney and see if he? All right, Mr. Green, we have you set for today and we'll have your attorney here, okay?
It's great.
Giovanni Flemings. John Jett Ellis. John Jett Ellis? Are you John Jett Ellis? Oh, just have a seat. I'm making sure you're here. You were late. Amanda Griffin. All right. Michael Ball.
There.
Where? Michael Ball.
There.
You need to have a seat on the front row. Delina Glass. Delina Glass. MC Reed. MC Reed.
He was here, Your Honor. I believe he went to county court.
All right, maybe they're gonna work out the case down there and take care of this. That's probably what's happening. Briella Butler. Briella Butler. Griselda Rosales. All right, you need to be on the front row. Richard Wallace. Richard Wallace.
Your Honor, I'm
Yes.
just over Rosales. May I confer with her in the hall?
Oh, yes.
Okay, let's make sure it wasn't another.
Sir, your cat.
No, that's fine. And Amy, are you prepared for the bundle of joy that's coming your way?
No. They told my brother, like, I'm gonna steal that maybe. That little tag they have on it's gonna be for the crazy aunt.
But you know, everything you see is so cute, right?
Oh, I mean, I have like a whole room that's becoming like full of stuff.
My mom said I've made her den a hoarder's den. She's like, she doesn't need any more toys, Stephanie. I'm like, but it's so cute. She's like, don't send anything else.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay. And then the next thing you know, something arrives. So what I ended up sending, I saw this barbecue grill set. And it makes real noises like you're actually grilling. She's like, Stephanie, what's 1 year I'm going to do with a barbecue grill set? Come on. She's like, what are you? I'm like, but it's so cute. And you can, it has little.
Makes like the little like marks on the,
It
yeah.
makes marks. And if you add water, it shows smokes. She's like, what are we supposed to do with this? She says, I have no room for this.
I'm like, I know, it's bad. It's really bad. That's, I mean, it's the kind of the thing with having my son who's 26
Mhm.
and then the next grandchild being born. I mean, my mom's been waiting for this moment, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then you get a time to spend so much time with them, you know?
Mhm.
All right. Alberto Soto,
Raise the box a little, Judge.
come down, sir. All right. And Mr. Ross, you over here and your client's in the middle.
That's right. You have to tell me everything.
That's okay. It keeps my mind sharp. All right. Who's the prosecutor on Alberto Soto? It's an aggravated robbery. Where are we on discovery?
I think I have it all. I've got to review. There's some videos that I've got to review.
Okay. And has an offer been tendered?
It has.
All right, so I'm going to give you a plea deadline, Mr. Soto. And I'm going to set your plea deadline date in September. On that day, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. Do you understand? All right, how old are you?
63.
All right, I'm going to set you for September 11th. And on that day, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's plea. Of course, if you decide to enter a plea bargain agreement and your counsel wants it placed on the docket sooner than that, then he can do that.
I'll come see you. I've got to look at all the videos. 5 years ago. They won't use it. I'll come see you after let you. I'll come see you, we'll talk, okay?
Mr. Ross, have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am, I will. You always cheer me up. You always got positive.
Hey, you know what? We have to live this life, whether we want to live it or not, and
Of course,
there's no harm in being joyful.
of course, you're putting on a show for your mom too.
Oh, no, my mom, let me just tell you, my mom always tells us that one, things could always be worse.
Absolutely.
And two, what have you got to be, sad about? Why shouldn't you be happy? She said, you're currently alive.
All you gotta do is walk around the streets and see all the handicapped people, the sick people, the
Well-
hurt people. That's all you gotta do.
My mom also says that the only time you have a problem is if you have a problem that money can't solve. And when you think about it, if you have a problem that money can solve, it's not really a problem because it can be solved. But if there's a health issue and money can't solve that, that's a problem. So anytime it's a problem that money can't solve, that's a real problem.
Quick story, I got a son rides motorcycles.
Mhm.
About 4 weeks ago, he hit a deer. Destroyed his bike, got put in a ditch, ended up with 5 broken ribs, something wrong with his back. Went to hospital. That was kind of, well, he's already bought a new motorcycle, he's out trying to ride it. He did the same thing 10 years ago. In other words, I'm gonna tell you now, I had a grandchild one time. She was little. She hurt herself. She started crying. I said, sweetheart, no blood. You can wiggle your fingers. Nothing broken. Sometimes you just have to get up and get on with stuff. A few weeks later, I was in Houston playing with her. I played with her. We bumped heads. I saw her. Oh, gee, Dad. Sometimes you just have to get up and keep going.
Yeah.
Right back. But that's the way it is. You just got to live life and you go forward.
That's it.
Thank you. I'll see.
All right, have a good one. Who's here on Jordan Robbins?
I am, Your Honor.
Mr. Ross, Mr. Ross.
You may sign it.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Good morning, Your Honor.
I recognize all the attorneys. Hello. Oh, there's somebody new here. Who's new here?
Yes, Your Honor. Rick Foster, I represent one of the physicians whose documents been requested.
Okay,
Dr.
so,
Rodriguez.
all right, and who is the prosecutor on this case?
I am your honor.
Okay.
It was not my motion. The
Oh,
hospital.
no, no. Okay. So,
What day is it?
all right, everyone, please whisper. So, other than this hearing that we're about to have with regards to the subpoena, is there any other discovery that the state has in their possession that you need?
Your Honor, seconds before they were called up, I was advising that there was some kind of records that came in on Friday. I think it might be related to this subpoena. I haven't had a chance to review it. I was going to run upstairs and grab it.
All right, so let's see if that's it, because then you will have already turned it over to the state, if that's what it is.
We didn't turn over anything, Judge. We're asking to quash the subpoena.
Well, no, she's saying
Well, let me
that
go
she's
check.
received
It might be
something.
something
It's
separate.
On the form we got on e-discovery, it just said notice of additional discovery, but that it was checkmarked like medical records. I think it was handwritten in, and I didn't have a chance yet to talk with them about what that is.
So
I think
let's-
We were also awaiting the remainder of the pediatrician records of the child, so it could be that too.
All right, so let's see what it is in case it is this, because sometimes people accidentally do things. And if they've accidentally already turned it over, then that's a problem not on my plate. So she's gonna go check that, then I'll call you all back up as soon as she sees what records they are.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you send? They could be. Oh, yes. But it's all that. Marina like puts on my chair. Yes, we're looking.
All right, are the parties ready on Nelda Rios? All right, court is calling 2022 CR 11792, State of Texas versus Nelda Rios. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense,
Albert Chidas for Ms. Rios.
are you Nelda Rios?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Nelda Rios who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 11792 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1 less than 1 gram on April 19, 2023 for a period of 2 years? Is that you?
I do gotta say, I don't remember, I do have a head injury, but
All right, she doesn't remember that she was placed on deferred adjudication. Do you know when she had this head injury? Was it before or after she was
It
placed on
was-
probation?
It was before, Judge, and she did remember earlier when we were talking. It's something that I was talking with the state and with probation about. She does have some deficits. She goes to Center for Healthcare Services for treatment.
All right, so do y'all think she's competent?
She has been, this is the first, she says she doesn't remember being on probation. And we had actually talked about trying to help her because she was homeless. There's some issues that came up. She's on SSI for her head injury, but she lost her ID. And when that happened, she got evicted from housing. So we could work something out with Haven for Hope, get them to help her get her ID temporarily.
So are you all looking to withdraw the motion and alternate main conditions?
Judge, we thought that it would be better to come and have the motion heard, but again, that's up to you.
I think it would be best probably to withdraw and alternate main conditions.
Your Honor, we were looking to maybe getting some evaluations done while she was in custody.
Ah. So what evaluations are we looking at?
The TAP
Mental
and
health.
mental health evaluation.
My only concern is I understand y'all want to do that in custody, but she's telling me she doesn't remember signing conditions or being on probation. She doesn't have a place to stay?
She was living under a bridge when she was arrested.
All right. So here's my question for you. One or two things can happen. You can remain in custody. While in custody, you will be evaluated. We can reset the motion to revoke, and you can be evaluated for the mental health caseload. Would you like to do that?
I already know that I'm not capable of, that I cannot. Like, you have to tell me all over again, because I didn't understand it.
All right, let's do this. Why don't we see whether or not the mental health court will accept her? I know they only do pretrial diversions, but if nobody's going to object to it, I'm willing to do a motion for new trial. And we can start all over, because I see I'm not the person who took this plea. So if you would check with mental health court to see if they'll accept her, because that may be the better placement for her, because I think she's going to need one-on-one care. So if you'll check with mental health court and let them know, and you'll have to let them know that she's currently on deferred adjudication, but I'm willing, if nobody objects, to hear a motion for new trial, grant the motion for new trial, because the key is to get her the mental health treatment. And this is a possession less than a gram case.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. So is everybody on board with that?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Judge.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset you for 2 weeks. There may not be anything completed in 2 weeks' time because mental health court will have to interview you, but I just don't want to lose track of you in the system. Okay. Do you have any questions?
No,
All right. Do you have any family?
I don't. I have that. Sometimes I don't even have money to buy me a meal.
Okay.
I haven't been able to get I have a bank account with Bank of America, but because I don't have an ID, because when I got arrested, I was in my apartment. And it's a long story, but I had gotten a better, criminal trespassing in my apartment, and that's why I got arrested for this case. I'm sorry for it.
Oh, no.
And then we came to court and went through all this process, but being out, I don't even have money to buy me something to eat or pay for motel room because of everything I've lost. And I got arrested at the motel. And I know that I have had issues with mental health since I was 10 years old.
Okay. All right. So we're going to give you a 2-week reset. And that's just so I won't lose track of you. So now we have a plan. We're going to try to get you in the mental health court and probation. Could you see about the mental health case evaluation while she's in custody, just in case that doesn't work out?
Yes, sure.
All right. Is there anything else?
No, yeah.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 2-week reset on Nelda Rios, please. You're welcome. All right, so we're going to put it down for August 29th.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Deputy, before you take her back, Ms. Ferguson, can you give her a reset form so she'll remember?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. And then
All right, are you all ready on this case or you're still working on it?
It's kind of an interesting issue. We should probably bring your attention to it.
All right, I'll take you all up in just a moment. then.
Okay. Yeah.
MC Reed. Good morning. All right, Mr. Reed, you were late for court. Why?
Yes, ma'am. I apologize. It won't happen again. I had difficulty this morning. Trying to get my bearing on where was at. Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
I had difficulty this morning getting my bearing on where the courtroom was at.
Okay, all right. So now you know where it
Yes,
is.
ma'am.
All right.
That'll never happen again.
All right, so where are we on this case?
It's a first setting, Judge. I've spoken to my client. There seem to be some parole issues that we need to get to the bottom of before we can negotiate any kind of offer.
Okay,
So we just need time to figure that stuff out.
all right. And so he has a parole hearing.
No, Judge, he's on parole. They haven't issued a violation. They haven't issued a blue warrant, anything like that. So we want to kind of tiptoe to make sure that whatever deal we take isn't a moot point.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson,
Okay.
on this case, give me a 45-day reset.
Yes, ma'am.
You can put it down as discovery.
I can do September 28th.
All right, September 28th, just get the reset form, then you're excused. If for any reason he has a parole hearing or something on that date, just let the court know.
I appreciate it, Judge. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And whenever you all are ready on Robbins, just let me know.
Yeah, it just says patient.
This afternoon.
Oh, yes, I saw it.
I can get back to him by the end of the week.
Okay, all right.
That's when I needed to look at the other one.
All right, thank you.
Except for the fact that if there's a bill.
Just give me one moment. Christopher Morrison. And are you already on Robbins?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll take it up right after this.
Okay.
Morning.
Good morning. All right, so, Mr. Morrison, come up, please. All right, so if you, so the last time we were here, there was some discovery on mental health issues,
So, Your Honor,
and then it was supposed to be a referral to mental health court.
that, I apologize, Your Honor, I didn't know about that update.
I go to the VA for mental health, and I have been since 2008. While I was active duty
Okay.
and after as well.
Yes, Your Honor, and we're trying to obtain that information so that we can present it for the state for possible mitigation.
All right. So is this going to be a referral to mental health court or no? Because the last time we were here, there was supposed to be a referral to mental health court. And this happened in July. So has that been done?
No, Your Honor. I need, if I can reapproach, Your Honor, and get better information, but I don't.
All right, so I can tell you all that was supposed to be done, the referral to mental health court. Now, if he's a veteran, if you all want to see if Veterans Treatments Court is willing to accept him, you can also see that. And if that's the case, then we'll have someone from Veterans Treatment Court come down now.
Okay, Your Honor, if I can just step back.
Sure. Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
no problem. All right, Robbins. All right, are you all ready to go on the record?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 11724, State of Texas versus Jordan Robbins. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
Amy Owen for the defense.
All right. And the other two attorneys who are here?
Yes, Judge, Brandon Wong for Alexander Reed.
All right, so everybody, please do not whisper because the court reporter cannot hear. So,
Brandon Wong for Alexander Reed.
Yes, Your Honor. Rick Foster here for Dr. Javier Rodriguez.
all right. So before we get into the reason for the other two attorneys being present, I want to make sure that you have all the discovery from the state that the state has in its possession.
That the state has in its possession, I believe so, Your Honor. I do not know if that's what is in their possession is comprehensive of the order of the court of what was ordered to be turned over. I had not looked at that yet, since we do have a final discovery, I believe, setting, I think it's on the 24th.
It's the 24th.
So this was set for the motion to quash today, and we already have a discovery setting set on the 24th.
Okay. All right. So let's go over the motion then. And I have a first amended motion.
Yes, Judge, do you need a copy?
Oh, I have this. And did you file a motion as well, or is
I
this?
did not, Your Honor. I found out about it yesterday, but we're subject to this motion because we're the doctor, one of the doctors that is being asked to produce records for Mr. Wong's client, Ms. Reed.
All right.
And Your
So
Honor,
defense.
Your Honor, so as the court's aware, we have argued, sort of argued this prior to the court, and we're not on a fishing expedition to for all of her medical records, but what we are interested in and looking for are medical records that occur between January 1st of 2022 up through January 31st of 2022.
All right. Do y'all want to write this down, what she's asking for?
I can get it.
Okay.
Let Mr. Wong know. So there's American Health Imaging on January 6th, 2022, January 18th with Dr. Nivra Beta, January 21st with Dr. Malhorta, and January 31st with North Central Baptist Hospital ER. And then we know that the outcry in this case is February 8th and 9th. And the reason we're asking for this, Your Honor, is that the mother of the complainant suffers from a frontal traumatic brain injury. We know that occurred in 2012. And those, because of, without revealing too much of our defensive strategy in this case, there's information contained within the case file of the civil discovery and within the court ordered psychological evaluation by Dr. Richard Tice that gives us reason to believe that there could be exculpatory information contained within mother's medical records, mother's outcry witness in this case. And we believe that what is contained within those records could be exculpatory. We're asking for the court to do it. We're not asking for them to be turned over. We're asking if the court would do an in-camera review of these records to see if there's anything relevant to this case in terms of symptoms and diagnoses of what happened within the 30 days of outcry. And that's what we're requesting.
All right. And state,
Yes.
are you planning on calling this witness as an outcry witness or calling this witness at all?
She would be the outcry witness, Your Honor. And we had a hearing previously on this, and our position as to why we did not feel that these records were necessary was because she is just the outcry witness. She's not, the allegations themselves come from the child. The child said these allegations multiple times. And it's just very attenuated from how there could be any relevancy. It's kind of well, there might be something in there. And we don't know that there is. And it's the state's view that it's outside our duties to provide, which is why they chose to subpoena independently.
Well, the court's question, this brain injury, did it occur before or after the alleged outcry?
Before, about 10 years before.
All right.
Judge, obviously, they're asking for my client's protected HIPAA information. It's just clearly a fishing expedition. The subpoena is defective on its face. They actually didn't even follow the procedure. They didn't serve my client. They never served my client with the actual subpoena for any of the records they're asking for. The subpoena is incorrect because it doesn't even list her name correctly, her birthday correctly. So again, no one can even provide the information they want because again, it's just defective on its face.
But obviously, you know.
Obviously, I know about it, but and
'Cause
that's
you're
why we're
here.
here. But the reality is, Your Honor, as the state said, none of this information is remotely relevant. They're just trying to simply fish. My client, again, she's one of many outcry witnesses that have heard the child's statement. She's not the victim. She's not saying this happened to her.
But this is the person that the state is calling as an outcry.
I get it, Judge. But again, she's not the only one. And then they're still able to have my client on the stand, ask her whatever whatever they want. You know, that is, we all know that is how it works. And so they're able to get whatever information. They're trying to link something that happened 10 years ago and saying, well, now she has some sort of mental handicap where she is now convincing her child. You know, that's their strategy. It's not even a secret. They're trying to say that she has influenced her child to say that these allegations have occurred to her. It's a stretch to say the least, Your Honor. And so again, it's just harassment on the part of, you know, they're just making my client spend countless dollars and time fighting this thing. She has nothing to do with it. All she did, she made a report and that's it. She's out of it. And so again, for them to now see all of her records, you know, now they're cutting it down. Originally it was her entire medical file, her entire medical records. And I understand they just want a couple visits here and there. But again, Your Honor, my client's still going to have to produce them. It's a hassle. There is nothing relevant that's going to come from this. And they're keeping it's possibly exculpatory. They don't know. There's nothing other than just their speculation. It's just pure speculation that they can come up here and say, you know, we just want to harass this lady to get these records just so we might be able to strengthen our defense. And again, as the prosecution has said, it's just not relevant.
Okay. And do you have an argument?
Your Honor, we just merely support the patient, Dr. Rodriguez's patient, Ms. Reed. It's her record. She doesn't want to produce them. We don't want to produce them. And it sounds like from the summary that was given by defense counsel, they're not even asking for Dr. Rodriguez's records at this point. Is that correct? Even though okay, so we have a subpoena, but you know, so we need protection from that subpoena. I can file a separate motion, or we can agree on the record today that it's, or as the court determines, that subpoena is withdrawn.
Just 1 second, because I'd like to.
Oh, yes.
Cut to the point.
Okay.
So this attorney, his patient, or his doctor.
Yes, sir.
Are there any records that you want from this doctor?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. However, since we don't have any, we don't know if it references, any type of diagnosis or treatment that's referred back to that. But these specifically what I read are what we're requesting.
All right. So here's the thing. Number one, he's saying that the subpoena is improper on its face because it doesn't have the correct name, the correct date of birth. I think we all know who it is and who we're here for. If you want to make another trip down to the courthouse and they can correct the name and the date of birth, they can do that. But I can tell you what my ruling is going to be. What my ruling is going to be is yes, I need to see it in camera inspection, and I will make a determination of whether it's relevant or not. If I deem that it's not relevant from the in-camera inspection, then that will be the end of it. But I can't make a determination on whether or not a record is relevant or not until I see it. So just listen to everybody's argument. I've listened to your argument, but I need to see what it is. So she is telling me she has narrowed it down to this specific thing. And my understanding from both sides, or let me make it clear to everybody, that's the specific thing. We're not going outside of that specific thing. So counsel, if there is something that you feel that the attorney who's here today, that there's something that they have, let them know specifically what it is. And then if you all will present it to the court, not to the state, not to the defense, just present it to me, I will review it. And then I will make a determination whether it's relevant or not. And my understanding from defense, they're no longer asking for the entirety of the record, which I would think the entirety of the record would not be relevant. But the specific part she's asking for, I'll review them and make a decision on that. So first question, are you going to want me to rule that on its face because it has the wrong date of birth, wrong name? And just
On its
say,
face, Judge, honestly, yes, Your Honor, they need to refile it.
all right. So
And then
this
I'll
is-
ask my client, once they've served a proper subpoena to provide said documents, and then, because I understand what your ruling is, but obviously I can't agree to release her records when it's just not been properly done.
all right. So when will you have your subpoena ready?
Today.
All right. So she's going to have her subpoena ready today. So while she's getting her subpoena ready, if y'all can get those records ready for the time frame, if you give them the time frame, it's not, I read very quickly. It's not going to take me long to do it and to review everything.
And Your Honor, I think the other issue would be that in order for anybody to get the records, that the court would need to order Mr. Wong's client to sign a HIPAA release to the actual entities to be able to release the records to the court.
I'm not going to order her to sign a HIPAA release.
Okay,
So,
so once we get the subpoena and then the court, we would direct the entity to send the records directly to the court.
yes.
Okay.
And then if you all are able to get the records directly to make the process move quicker and bring them to me, and I will review them in camera. And as I said before, when I review things in camera, I really review them in camera. Defense doesn't see it, state doesn't see it, her client's not going to see it. I'll be the only person who's seeing it.
May I address?
Sure.
Your Honor, pursuant to HIPAA and the CFRs underneath that, we have, if it's a third-party subpoena, to be able to release the records, we need to be ordered to produce those records. And then there needs to be provisions that they're prohibited from using the records and disclosing them outside the litigation, and they're required to return the records upon the conclusion of the proceedings. And so
Here's my thing.
may I pass something up to the court?
Sure. But you may pass it.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I don't believe in crossing bridges until they're built.
Yes.
So the first thing we need to do is, if you all will confer on the date she's speaking about,
yes,
and then she can have her new subpoena, and you all just get the records prepared for the court. And if you all can have the records and bring them to me, because sometimes when things are mailed to the court, it goes to 6 different places. People don't read 187 4th floor with a suite number. So it goes to different places. And so nobody else will read it, just me. If y'all will bring it to me, and if you could put it in a sealed envelope that says judge only on it, nobody else will open it. The staff would not open it. It'll go specifically to me.
And
Okay.
can we go ahead and submit an agreed order on how those records are being tendered up to you because you've directed us to do it?
Sure,
And
if
and
you all
put it
can-
with the documents?
Yes.
Okay, you okay
Yes.
with that?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, and then she'll get the subpoena, but I will tell you our next court date in this court for discovery matters are August 24th. So if you all can have all those records to me before August 24th, that would be great. If not, I can read it on August 24th, but I just like to have leisure reading before that date.
Okay.
All right, so August 24th. Does anybody need anything else?
No, Your Honor.
No, you're
All right, and if there's not any objections from the defense, if you all want to appear by Zoom, you're more than welcome to appear by Zoom as long as I have the records to review in camera. Is there going to be any objection?
No, ma'am.
All right, so if you all would like to appear by Zoom, just let the court know. The court coordinator will give you the Zoom link.
That'll work. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be seated?
Yes.
Thank you.
And Caroline, can you make sure that's in the on the form for August 24th? Luis Camacho.
President Council, Your Honor.
Hello.
Here is Mr. Camacho.
All right, where are we on this case?
Judge, defense is asking us to look into some other issues. It's something to do with the bar, where this all happened and possible records of the security guard. We're gonna try and reach out to someone, but
All right, so what discovery is it actually that's needed?
It's any potential disciplinary or formal complaints filed against the security officer who is the complaining witness in this case. There were specific details provided in the discovery I do have so far, where there potentially may have been other instances of misconduct by the security officer. So I'm asking the state to look into that and provide that to me.
All right, we're going to recall this on September 11th.
If I may, Your Honor.
Yes.
On that particular day, I do have a doctor's appointment with my wife. She is going to be potentially going into labor.
So which day would you prefer in September?
18th. That would probably be better. If it doesn't happen that day, I should be available on the 18th.
All right,
I appreciate it.
Caroline, could you give them a reset form on Camacho for discovery September 18th? All right, thank you.
Judge.
Thanks for dressing appropriately for court. Are the parties ready on Christopher Morrison or no? All right, Trinidad Velasquez. Hello, good morning. So in this case, do you have all the discovery?
I believe all discovery has been uploaded to e-discovery for counsel.
All right, has an offer been tendered?
An offer has been tendered, Your Honor. We are still conferring regarding a possible referral to mental health court.
All right,
or,
when
I'm
it's-
sorry, to Veterans Court, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
all right. Bashan, can you have Herman perhaps come down? All right, just have a seat in the box and we'll see if we can get somebody from Veterans Treatment Court down to see if he's even eligible.
All right, may I be excused to go to another court?
Yes,
Thank you.
and so that's for Morrison and Velasquez. Sean Griffin.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Why are we here today?
Just a quick bond hearing, Judge.
Okay,
We're just looking to do tracking only.
all right, who's the prosecutor? Court is calling 2023 CR 6161, state is Texas versus Sean Griffin. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis Banks for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Samuel Lyles for defense.
All right, we're here for a motion to modify bond conditions. They're requesting tracking only. Do you have an objection, State?
Without further information, yes, sir.
All right, have you conferred?
Judge, we have conferred. He's currently on partial because he does have a full-time job, but he just actually graduated from barber school.
Yes.
And so he's looking to do tracking only to be basically a barber that can travel around and do haircuts, because currently he's just in his mom's bathroom doing the haircuts. Yep. And I do have one witness, Judge.
All right, if you'll call your witness.
Takesha Harris.
All right, and you want to put your drink down?
Yeah, sorry.
Sure, no problem. Everyone needs to whisper. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Takesha Harris.
All right, defense?
Ms. Harris, you know why we're here. What's your relationship with Sean Griffin?
I have his 5th child.
I'm sorry,
I
what?
have a child with him.
Okay.
And how many children does he have?
He has 5.
And in regards to his financial situation and the children, can you just tell the judge what's going on?
Well, ever since this has started, it has put a dent on everything. My daughter goes to IDEA, so they have no buses, so to pick up and drop off has been hard because I have no one to do it, so I haven't been able to really work. Financially wise, he hasn't been able to really do anything because he can't go anywhere, provide how he used to. I have photos of how much of an active father he is to all of his kids. He has 4 with someone else, and then he has 1 with me. He gets his kids all the time. We just had them. It's just we haven't been getting them a lot because he can't go anywhere, and I don't want them just to be sitting in the house. But I just need help with being a parent, and most of this for him to be there for his kid, because he missed my daughter's graduation. My daughter had surgery. He couldn't go. He missed his oldest son graduation to go to high school. So just want help. He's not a violent person.
And Ms. Harris, in regards to his children, does he financially support them?
Yes.
And how is the GPS hindering his stability for the children?
This is the first school year. He didn't get to get anything for the kid because we've been having to pay for things. So he won't go back to jail because he was behind on his bail's bond and stuff like that. And me and his mom have been doing as much as we could.
And what are his sources of income?
He was working. He had just got promoted at his job at security, but he lost that. So he just started working at Toyota and barber. He is a really good barber. That's where most of the money was coming from. And he just passed his test. So, but there's so much that he can do.
So he's a licensed barber. Is he traveling around? How is he doing haircuts?
Right now, he was doing them in his mom's restroom because he can't go anywhere. And he really can't cut at school that much anymore because he graduated.
And if he's able to travel, is that going to help him make more money for his children?
Yes, and to be there for them to pick up from school or anything.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. No more questions, Your Honor.
Any questions?
Yes. What hours does he need to be able to travel to?
That it just depends. Different people call different times. And oh, I'm so sorry. Different people call at different times. And with helping with my daughter from school, she has to be at school at 7:45 and school ends at 3:45. But we get there a little early because she goes to IDEA and they don't have no school buses, so the lines be long. It just really depends on who calls and asks him. Sometimes he goes in the middle of the night, sometimes it's during the day. It's just he makes more traveling because there's not really a lot of barber that travels.
So he wants to be able to travel around even in the middle of the night to cut hair.
Well, right now he works overnight and then he works during the day also. He works 2 weeks in the morning, 2 weeks at night, and then it switches back 2 weeks in the morning, 2 weeks at night. But my main thing is to be there for his kids also because I'm literally a single parent and his mom works at a school too, so she works at a different district. So her hours are the same as the hours that I need help with.
And do you two reside in the same household or?
Not anymore, no. He lives with his mom because of.
And so you also want him to be able to take the children to school and get home from school.
He missed my daughter's graduation and my daughter had surgery, a major surgery, and
I have to literally do it alone and take care of her because he couldn't be there to help.
No further questions.
All right, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, you can come back here. All right, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court will hear argument.
Your Honor, in regards to his situation, he's a very involved parent. He has 5 children. He's trying to be there for them, not just financially, but to take them to basketball practice, make sure they're in school, doctor's appointments, whatever it is. In addition, he does have a full-time job at the Toyota plant, but to support 5 children, it's not exactly making ends meet. So he needs to be able to travel as a licensed barber so he can go around and do his haircuts and make extra money.
State.
Your Honor, with regard to the school participation, the state does have no objection to him, helping out with taking the kids to school and that sort of thing. With regard to the mobile barber business, during business hours, that sounds like a fine activity to be doing. I am a little concerned that the witness did say that even in the middle of the night, sometimes he'll be out cutting hair. I don't think the court should approve that, but doing barber business during normal business hours, I don't think the state objects to that.
All right, so I will allow you to work upon proof of employment and work hours and to attend all children's school and medical appointments. Your work hour, it's going to be a curfew for that unless it's Toyota. And I think, what time would you like the curfew?
I mean, for the barbering business, I guess 6 p.m. would maybe reasonable.
Yes, are you able to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, work hour curfew as a barber. Will be 6 p.m.
And Judge, could we just note, because I've talked to pretrial in situations like this before, and they want to see an LLC or some DBA on behalf, but he's going to be a sole proprietor because it's his own business. There's no way to put a note that he's a licensed barber. And he can...
If you would speak to the coordinator, she'll have pretrial services officer zoom in. If you know who is pretrial services officer, we'll have them zoom in, and so they'll understand the court's order.
Okay, perfect. Thank you,
All
Judge.
right, so just talk to the court coordinator about that, and she'll have them zoom in.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Hi, thank you. Oh, it is. These 2 gentlemen. So one is in custody and one is on bond.
Okay, Judge, I'll take a look.
All right, thank you. Nicholas Cornelius. And then after that, it will be Griselda Rosales. All right, who is the prosecutor on this case? Court is calling 2021 CR 0835, State of Texas versus Nicholas Cornelius. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar from the state of Texas.
And Jackson Lindsay on behalf of Mr. Cornelius, Judge.
Are you Mr. Cornelius?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client? Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Cornelius, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
As Judge, we're going with the lesser included offense robbery.
Any objection?
No.
Showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with or at least the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of robbery? That's a 2nd-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to accept your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Judge, I believe he's competent.
Do you believe he's currently, yes, do you believe he was legally sane at the time of the offense? Mr. Cornelius, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of robbery, and the state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Judge.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions? Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation and no contact with Jose Aguilar. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the lesser included offense of robbery, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State offers exhibit 1 in all its applicants.
No objection.
All right. And state, have you been in contact with the complainant?
So we have been in contact with the complainant, Your Honor. There were other co-defendants in this case. One of them also did have the charge reduced to robbery and was given.
All right, thank you. Oh, you may be excused to continue to confer. Mr. Cornelius, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney?
Yes,
Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
They're all on. That's what I was. I'm gonna.
All right, can we go with the record? Can I see the prosecutor? Caroline, we're ready. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge, we're waiting to get back.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just so the court is aware, Judge.
All right, so everyone, please whisper in the box. We're on the record. Yes.
Thank you, Judge. Briefly, my client had court in the Winnebago District Court back on May 31st of 2022. That day, he was arrested by the U.S. Marshals for a federal charge of being a person under indictment in possession of firearms.
Okay.
He spent 15 months in custody awaiting that charge. We worked out a deal in federal court for a plea bargain, accepting his ability to appeal that sentence because that particular statute is being challenged in the upper courts right now, 922 M. 18 USC 922 M. So because he was denied bond, he was in a position where he ultimately pled guilty because he did have the firearms. That explains why we took so long to come back to this court. He's here now, Judge. He's been offered deferred adjudication from the state. He's accepted it pursuant to the court's approval. As part of this federal judgment, after serving 15 months, he was placed on supervised release for 3 years, which I'm asking the court to run that concurrent with this federal case. And that in the event, unlikely event, I believe, he would be picked up on a violation of probation in this court, that any time served in federal court awaiting disposition of that case be credited towards any time given in that case, in the event he's sentenced.
All right. Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
4, 3, 2, 1, 6 months.
And where are they? Who are they with?
Their mothers.
How many mothers?
3.
All right, that is not Black excellence. The fact that you're here is not Black excellence, unless that's the name of a building, but I'm assuming it's not. So you are not showing Black excellence to your ancestors or to your mother, your grandmother, or anyone. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So don't wear Black excellence if you're not showing it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
Pack and moving, Apple moving service.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court will sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Jose Aguilar. There's to be restitution, if any, to FedEx. Regular reporting. By Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. 200 hours of community service restitution. There's going to be parenting classes. Once he completes parenting classes, that will be deemed to be satisfied. Field visits. 1 time per month for 3 months. And probation. If you all want to check with the federal government and see how their field visits are, you may not have to do any if they're doing them as well. So if you could check with them. There's to be no contact with Aubrey Reed, AUBREYREED, Charlie James Ray Perkins, Amari EMARI LaFell LAFEL Freeman FREEMAN. There's to be proof of employment within 30 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Yes. All right, is there anything else you need from the court to have black excellence in your life?
I'm out.
Judge, maybe run this concurrent with this federal cause number. I can give you that cause number.
All right, concurrent with what's the number?
SA:22-CR-294.
All right, the court will run it concurrent.
Thank you, Judge.
Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. From here on out, in this court, whatever you do in your life while you're on probation, you need to ask yourself two questions. One, is what I'm doing something that could potentially result in me being revoked and sentenced to prison for 20 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, Trinidad Velasquez. Ms. Ferguson? All right, we're going to reset this for 30 days.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. I'm going to reset this for September 18th,
Yes, Your Honor.
and you'll be referred to Veterans Treatment Court.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Christopher Morrison.
September 18th.
Yes. Where's your attorney? All right, we'll wait till your attorney comes back.
Okay.
All right, which one? I see. All right, Esteban Ramirez Frosto. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Well, how are you?
All right, it's always great to see you.
It is always my pleasure.
All right, so where are we on discovery?
Judge, there is still some outstanding discovery. It's come to our attention that there is possible voice messages made from the defendant to the to his, or I'm sorry, from the complaining witness to his wife that may be exculpatory. So we need some time to reach out to the victim's wife in this case, who has those messages.
All right, and is there any CPS records?
I don't believe so.
No children involved at all. No.
So have you tendered an offer or no?
Not at this time.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset on Ramirez Frosto.
We can do September 19th.
All right, September 19th. And is he a citizen?
He is not, Judge, and I was gonna ask you, I know you do appoint immigration attorney as needed.
All right, we need an immigration attorney on that one.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, is there anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, who's here on Alanezi?
Your Honor, have you excused?
Yes, thank you. All right, so where are we on this case?
We just need a trial setting, Judge.
All right. So Ms. Ferguson, on Alanezi, if we can recall this back, the week of August 21st for plea deadline date, please.
I can do the 21st or 22nd
21st or 22nd.
or the 24th.
The 21st is fine. What would the trial setting be?
You'll get that later.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to come back on August 21st. That's going to be your plea deadline date. At that time, you need to let the court. Do you need an interpreter?
Yeah, I need translator.
All right, so,
Yeah, I do like 60%.
all right, Arabic.
Yeah, I do Arabic.
All right,
Yeah,
so,
yalla, amshi. That's the last time he told me.
yalla, yalla. All right, Ms. Ferguson, reset this in 30 days for plea deadline date. Well, give me a jury trial date and a plea deadline date. And has he spoken to the immigration attorney?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Where are you from originally?
Iraq, Baghdad.
Okay. My brother has been there. I actually have a lot of family members who've been there.
I locked up January, just reset. Like,
Oh, no, you're going to be going to trial or either you're going to enter a plea. What date? All right, September 12th is going to be your jury trial date and plea deadline date, and we're having an interpreter present. All right, and Norma, could you already put in a notice for that?
Yes.
And let them know the Arabic interpreter will need to be in court because either he's entering a plea or he's going to jury trial.
Thank you, Judge. Can we be excused?
Yes.
Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Griselda Rosales. So what is happening with this case?
I think the death penalty is off the table, but we still don't have a plea bargain.
Yeah.
It's the first setting.
So
I did. No. What? Yeah, Jason. I can't remember Jason. Okay, I did talk with Jason.
all right, so do you have all the discovery?
Judge, I don't know because we messed up. We had a service issue I didn't know was set yesterday. Normally I look at the discovery ahead of time. I did not do that. I can do it by next time. I mean, we had an issue where we get kicked off the server because there was a virus. It's longer than you want to know, but I can't tell you. I assume so, but I can't say for sure.
All right, has an offer been tendered?
It has.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset. It's going to be a plea deadline date. All right, on September 18th, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. If you choose not to, then the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have the plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, you can sign the reset form, then you all are excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And your client was late today.
Well, she's
Ms.
doing better.
Rosales, do not be late for court again. Do you understand? All right.
Party election. Did not slap with just election.
Okay, I appreciate that. Garland Green. All right, probation. This is an application. Court is calling 2023 CR 3544, State of Texas versus Garland Green. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ruben Herrera for the state.
Defense?
Robert Gear, Your Honor, for defendant Garland Green, and we're ready.
Are you Mr. Green?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
We have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Green, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're proceeding on the lesser included charge of assault, bodily injury, married cohabitation.
Any objection?
No objection from defense, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, married, or cohabitation as a Class A misdemeanor?
Yes.
The range of punishment for that offense is up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe that he does, Your
Do you
Honor.
believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe that he is and he was, Your Honor.
Mr. Green, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, married cohabitation. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with the affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with the affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes.
Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense, is that the plea?
That is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge, there have not.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be no contact with Jesse Willard, JESSIE, WHEELER, the BIPP program, and anger management. Did you understand those were conditions that the state is recommending and the court does not have to follow that? Then to the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, married cohabitation. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
The state offers State's Exhibit 1 in all of its attachments.
Defense is reviewed, Judge. We have no objection.
And state, have you talked to the complainant?
We have previously, Your Honor, in complete candor, this complaining witness has signed an affidavit of non-prosecution and was uncooperative with our case.
All right, thank you. You may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Green, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements or police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge. In regard to the no contact order with Jesse Wheeler, the parties are cohabitating. They do share a 5-year-old son who just started school yesterday. My client works at Pepsi during the day. Mother works for Rackspace at night. So the no contact order would impose a unduly burden on the parties in respect to parenting this child. As is usually the case, Your Honor, in these situations, CPS was involved as per family-based service plan. The parties went to counseling. My client went to counseling and is continuing to go to counseling. Both parties have been and are attending marriage counseling at this time. My client says that it's been a good influence on both them and their relationship. And they feel that the no contact order, if implemented, as mentioned, would be a burden not only on their relationship, on their status, but their ability to parent the 5-year-old child. So we respectfully request that the court not order a no contact order. Thank you.
All right, so is this a son or a daughter? Because I was reading the report, it was a daughter.
Little girl, sorry.
Okay, no problem. I want to make sure I have it right. So what family members do you have in Bexar County?
I have my mom, my dad, but my dad, he doesn't really help out much. My mom, she really can't because she can barely move around herself. Oh, I'm sorry. My dad, he doesn't really help. And my mom, she can't because she physically can't move around to help watch my 5-year-old.
All right, so here's the thing. I'm not going to do a no harmful or injurious contact. If there wants to be a no contact order, then the complainant can appear by Zoom or either in person. I want you to understand something.
Yes, ma'am.
I read the police report, and in the police report, you said she was pushing your buttons, you're pushing her buttons, and all, you can unfold your arms. And all of you all were acting not as adults, y'all were acting like children. And the child at the time was 4 years old. You all caused drama and trauma to a 4-year-old. What is a 4-year-old supposed to think? And you and the complainant are going through the apartment, throwing things around. And you tell a 4-year-old, don't throw that, place it back where it's supposed to be, and trying to lay down the law to a 4-year-old. And you all are acting worse than the 4-year-old.
Yes,
and that's a memory that 4-year-old is going to have forever. No amount of counseling that you all go to try to put y'all life together is going to take away that the 4-year-old witnessed all of this drama in their life. So if he wants to have contact with the mom and they're working things out, she needs to appear by Zoom and the court will consider it. If you want to get her to Zoom in here today, then I'll consider it today. Is she able to Zoom today?
She sleeps because she works at night.
Oh, well, if somebody wants to call her and have her Zoom in.
I can call her.
All right. So it's going to be 2 years deferred adjudication, affirmative finding of family violence, no contact with Jesse Wheeler. Of course, if you call her and she Zooms in today, I'll reconsider. The BIPP course, 80 hours community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. If you've done parenting classes through CPS, that will be acceptable. If you have not, then you'll need to do parenting classes. If he's completed parenting classes related to this incident through CPS, then the community service hours will be deemed to be satisfied. There's to be anger management. There's to be CPS compliance. It sounds like it's a safety plan. So whatever the safety plan is giving them, just make sure he's doing that. And probation, if what he's doing for his CPS safety plans coincides with what I'm requesting, then the CPS, what they're doing will be enough. There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs, and field visits one time. Well, field visits, I want at least 3 field visits throughout the entirety of his probation. So you only have to do 3. If you deem that there's something that's an issue, then of course you can do more, but a total of 3 field visits throughout his probation. There's to be proof of employment. within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else you need? Jessie, Jessie, Wheeler, Wheeler. That may not stand if he's able to get her to zoom in. Is there anything else you need from the court? Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? We can go off the record. Here's the thing. When there is violence in a home, children learn how to behave, right? So if somebody wins an argument by being violent, guess what? A child realizes, hey, if I want to win an argument, I need to be violent. Or here's the thing, you have a daughter. A daughter will think that you love her mom, right? You love her. So a daughter will begin to think, oh, this is how somebody who loves you shows that they love you. They're abusive. And then your daughter goes out in the world. And if she ends up with, as my professor in high school would say, and I say professor because he was a doctor who taught us physics, he would always say, girls, do not end up with a joker. So your daughter may end up with a joker. Don't let her be, you be the reason she ends up with a joker. And he would give instruction to the guys too. So you've got to do better. You understand?
I understand.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Michael Ball. Good morning.
Got my calendar already.
All right. Thank you. So Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on Michael Ball. And state on Michael Ball, I need I do have an acknowledgement of discovery. All right, we're good to go. No CPS records? All right, September 5th is going to be your jury trial date. You sign that and then you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. James Hernandez.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Hello. Who's the attorney for Michael? Who's the attorney for James Hernandez?
Judge, I apologize. Sorry.
All right. And then after that, it will be Lynn. All right. Is there a plea just on one of the cause numbers?
Yes, someone.
And this is an application. Court is calling 2023 CR 5148 State of Texas versus James Ray Hernandez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Travis Banks for the state of Texas.
Defense?
Afternoon for defense.
Are you James Ray Hernandez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented
Yes, Your Honor.
with the enhancement allegation?
Oh, sorry, Your Honor. We're waiving the repeater enhancement and proceeding only on the indictment.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Hernandez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $500 fine to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 2023 CR 5149. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense? Is
Yes,
that the
Judge.
plea? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also there's an anger management course. State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be the DDRF, 80 hours community service restitution, NIC evaluation, no contact with Joe Ray Hernandez and Rosalinda Hernandez. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State offer State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
State, have you talked to the complainant?
Yes, Your Honor. The state has spoken with the complainant and they are, they did ask the state to push for drug treatment for the defendant. And one other thing I want to mention about the repeater enhancement that the state waived. As far as the state can tell, that is not the case that's in his criminal history. I'm not sure how it made its way into the indictment, but the reason, a big reason it's being waived is because it's not part of the.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
All right. This is what the court will do. Well, let me ask you this first. Do you have children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
13, 7, 5, and 4.
13, 7, 5, and 4?
Yes, ma'am.
And do they live with their mother? Who are they living
My
with?
first 3, their mother passed away. They live with my
ex-mother-in-law, and then my fourth lives with her mother.
Okay. All right. Have you ever had any mental health diagnosis?
Yes, ma'am, I have. I've had about 6 in the last 4 years.
And what is the diagnosis?
That I have no problems, I guess. I've been to Lower Ridge, I say behavioral. I actually had one for my last charge of discharge of a firearm from 2020, which was the most recent, and they dismissed that case in March of this year.
It's my understanding that's the only
Yeah.
prior charge he has, which is the
All
drug.
right. So does he suffer from mental illness or not?
Not that I'm aware of. My understanding, the state wanted to have him evaluated.
All right. So what happened this day? Was that drug induced? Were you using drugs that day?
No, ma'am, it was not.
So you're telling me that his family think there's some drug issues or mental health issues?
In our communication with his mother, she does believe that there's some drug issues and that he would benefit from drug treatment.
He did attend Laurel Ridge. That was for an inpatient treatment. There was history. There has been a history of drug usage. He went through CPS as well.
Oh, and lifetime recovery outpatient. You're on.
Okay. And what drugs were you using at that time?
Just methamphetamine.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. It's a $500 fine to be probated, 6 years deferred adjudication, taking consideration 2023 CR 5149, affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Joe Ray Hernandez or Rosalinda Hernandez. Anger management. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. There's to be a TAP evaluation, MIC evaluation, DDRF evaluation, and that's to take place in custody and follow all recommendations. And there is to be proof of employment. Are you receiving any type of SSI?
No, ma'am.
Proof of employment within 45 days of release. No employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. The UA hotline until further notice. And field visits 1 time per month for 4 months and then as needed. If he gets a case manager early on, then probation, you can stop with the field visits. Probation, is there anything else just 1 second. We're going to do 80 hours of community service restitution and parenting classes. Once he completes those, the restitution, the community service restitution will be deemed satisfied. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court?
No.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, in this court, in order to be successful on probation, communication is key. If there's an issue, let your probation officer know about it. If you feel that the probation officer is not addressing that, you can always come to court. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
Chris Lynn. Where's Lynn?
He's in the box.
Come now.
He's on
Thank
his
you.
way up. What's that?
All right, state. So today you were to make an offer.
Yes, Your Honor, we provided him with an offer.
Cornelius is acting as though that's not it.
He's
He
very
did not
steep.
like my offer.
Very steep. Judge.
It's very steep. All right. Ms. Ferguson, give me a 2-week reset for plea deadline date.
Two weeks, you said?
Yes, 2 weeks.
Just cut back. Should be 30 days. Ah,
I don't believe that's true, Judge. I think it's. always
Thank
50
you.
weeks. Yeah.
You know, when you said there was a steep price to pay, you know what it made me think of? Did you ever watch the movie called Five Card Stud?
Oh, I've seen it.
In that, there's an episode where, I mean, there's a scene where the preacher comes in and he saves Dean Martin. And Dean Martin's like, thanks for saving me. Is there anything I can do? And he told Dean Martin, yeah, you can come to church for a month of Sundays. And you know what he said? That's a steep price to pay for saving a man's life. Five Card Stud movie is really underrated. That's a good movie. What date?
August 29th.
All right, so we'll be back on August 29th.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Rodney McDowell.
All right. Yeah.
Yes.
I have Brianna Butler.
Yes.
Judge, on this one, it's a first setting.
Oh, come forward. Butler. She's up next because I don't see Mr. Morrison's attorney. Bryla Butler.
Yes.
Were you on time for court today?
No, ma'am,
Why not?
because I'm homeless and I've been trying to, like, I've been living pillow to post.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What did you say?
I'm homeless. I just got out of jail like 3 weeks ago. And
Okay.
I've been trying to like get somewhere to stay and figure out how I'm gonna be able to get back and forth to classes, because I also have CPS going on as well.
Mhm.
And I don't have any money, don't have a job, and I've been looking for one. So I had to wait till my uncle or someone sent me money to give me an Uber. Cause
I mean, if you take the VIA bus, it's cheaper than an Uber.
yes, ma'am, but staying on 1604, there's no VIA buses.
See, that's where people call their city council person and tell them there's no VIA bus off of 1604.
I don't know who the city council is.
Oh, everybody should know who their representative is. People use their phones for so many things, but unnecessary things. And then when it's something important, and this is just not for you, this is for everybody, do this. When you ask them, who is your state representative? Who is your US senator? They're like, I don't know. I'm like, Google it. You can put your address in and it'll tell you who your city council person is. It will tell you who your commissioner is. It will tell you who your state representative is. It will tell you who your US House representative is.
Who are all those people, if you don't mind me asking?
It would have to be whatever your address is. Everybody doesn't have the same city council. Everyone doesn't have the same
Oh,
commission.
sorry, because I don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
No.
I apologize.
No need to apologize. You know what? My mom always says, you should learn something new every day. If you did not learn something new, then your day was wasted.
Yeah, I learned something new today.
See, there you go. So if you have a phone,
Yes, ma'am.
if you Google in your phone, your address, and if you just put in, I'm very country, so I will put in who's state representative for, and you put in your address, and it'll pop up. Every person that you're allowed to vote for will pop up and you'll know who it is. I can't tell you who it is because I don't know your address, but the commissioners, they're divided up 4 distinct people. And you can call the commissioners and say, because commissioners court, they're in charge of city maintenance per se, or county maintenance per se. And they will be, if you go to them, when they have a commissioners meeting and you say, we need some more VIA buses off of 1604, then they'll do it.
Oh, okay. I was so lost. I'm sorry. I'm thinking something about court or something. You're talking about calling them to.
Yes, so you can get to court on time.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I apologize.
All right, and that purse, isn't that a Michael Kors?
No, ma'am, it's not. And I have a Michael Kors like this.
See, we got to spend money where we need to spend money. All right.
This is old.
That's okay. I mean, sometimes we got to let things go so we can get to where we need to be.
Yeah.
All right, 30 days reset. Do you have all the discovery? Did you tender an offer?
We did tender an offer, Judge. I don't know if we've done the discovery acknowledgement yet, Judge.
Judge, we're still working through that. I believe that I do have it. Just need to work through it, but 30 days is what we asked for, just because it's for setting.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on this due plea deadline date in 30 days, that'll give you time to make arrangements.
To get here?
Mhm.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Of course.
All right, Ms. Ferguson,
September 19th.
September 19th. They'll give you a reset form, then you're excused.
Okay,
Thank you. And if you walk downtown, there are plenty of places that are looking for people to work.
Yes, ma'am. I've been looking since I got out of jail.
Okay.
They've been asking me about like my background and stuff since I got these.
Oh, well, they actually, what is the place where they're doing it for people who have history, criminal history?
Your Honor, I can double check and give it to her before she leaves.
You'll have something before you leave.
Okay, thank you.
We're a full service court here.
Yeah, this is my first time being here, so I don't know how to do anything.
Okay.
I'm new.
All right, we're gonna make it happen.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Judge, the complainant.
Yes.
Garland.
Mhm. Could I see the file on Garland, please? And can I see the parties on Garland? Okay. Can you call your attorney? All right, Ms. Wheeler, just give us a moment. Kevin Young. Who's the attorney for Kevin Young?
I am, Your Honor, Brian Gay.
All right, what's happening with this case? Today is plea deadline date.
Your Honor, the state and I have had conversations and
Judge, I was aware that it was a plea deadline date, but I was on the impression that defense did not want an offer at all.
Okay.
And the plea negotiations possibly would cause me to have to talk to administration for this.
Okay.
So we're asking for an additional 1 week.
Okay.
And there's also those are different days. Sorry. That's a
yeah,
different case.
also, we had reset it also for me to meet with a detective, which I already did. I believe that I've received all the discovery in the case. And that was one of the things, because there's a co-defendant that
All right,
already
so
dealt with this case. So.
to get back on the highway and not take the side streets, do you all want the plea deadline date extended?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just at least 1 week.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you put this either August 28th or the week of August 21st? Which day would you all prefer? The week of August 28th or the week of August 21st?
For to defense.
Well, Your Honor, I may be in trial both weeks.
But maybe not. So do you prefer,
Maybe not.
do you prefer the week of August 21st or the week of August 28th?
I think the 20th, just to make sure we have plenty of time and we
That's fine
can
with the state. Though.
discuss the plea offer.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, what date?
I can set it for the 31st, on the 31st.
All right, August 31st, just sign the reset form. The court will not extend the plea deadline dates any further.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. Kenan Brown. Who's the attorney for Kenan Brown?
Yes.
All right, what is happening with these cases?
Your Honor, today we.
Because I know you had a new case.
Surveillance video for one of the cases. It looks like discovery is completed. In the other cases, so the 3 cases, but it's the robbery case. So they're going to be providing me a disc of the surveillance video.
She just became aware of some discs that were in the file. I know that, this e-discovery stuff, it's not on e-discovery. It was just not uploaded because it's a security video, Your Honor. We're going to get those videos to her this week.
Okay.
And just to let you know, this is the individual that was in federal custody, so that the actual settings might be a little off because he wasn't here.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll reset this the same date as the other case for August 31st, just to make sure you have your discovery.
Okay.
All right, is there anything else?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, Norm, if you can put Ken and Brown on August 31st too. Who's here on Michael Herrera? Michael Herrera. All right, so there was an issue with Dr. Jumis on this case?
Your Honor, he's been found competent. We had our hearing last week. I believe it was the 10th.
Okay.
So the only thing I think left is we were able to find the third CAC video. And after court today, we are going to watch it.
All right, and so has an offer been tendered?
Yes, there was an offer tendered with his prior counsel. And I am his newer counsel.
All right, we're going to bring this back on August 31st to make you sure you have all the discovery and you reviewed it with your client. Then it's going to be a quick turnaround for a plea deadline date. All right, Norm, if you can put this case on August 31st as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Christopher Morrison. Hello. Hi. So your client is not going to be eligible for Veterans Treatment Court because they say he lives in Indiana.
That's correct.
So he's not going to be eligible for that. So y'all can still do the referral to mental health court, but mental health court, I don't believe he's going to be eligible for that either because he's in Indiana.
That's correct.
So has an offer been tendered? Do you all have all the?
No, Your Honor, defense counsel wants to present us with some mitigation evidence before we make an offer to him. So I think they want to ask for some time to get that together, to get that over to us.
How much time are you all asking?
Judge, a few weeks, however, but the one thing we'd like to make the court aware of is that he does travel from out of state. He does not reside in Bear County, so we would just like the court maybe to give us a few weeks. Either put the mitigation together and present it, but maybe not have to have him appear. So he doesn't have to fly back.
For the next setting, Judge, we wouldn't have any objection if he wanted to, I'm sorry to cut you off. We wouldn't have any objection to him appearing via Zoom, if that's okay with the court for the next setting, Judge.
Okay, just 1 second. What I'm thinking of doing is giving plea deadline date, all your discovery, and giving that to you for 45 days.
That's perfect.
And call it back in 45 days and he'll need to be here.
He'll need to be present in 45 days.
Yes. Is that enough time for everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
I think that'll work, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 45-day reset? And you all will have to confer off docket and it's a plea deadline date.
September 28th.
All right, September 28th.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Yes, once he signs the reset form.
Yes. Nice to see you, Judge.
You too. State and the deputy is going to start sending people back at noon. So if there's anyone you would like to be here, let us know. Did Orlando take care of? Ah, okay. Yes. All right, thank you.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Garland, were you able to get in touch with your attorney?
Already texted.
Okay.
Pretty on Miguel.
Miguel Rangel?
Child. And with my infection.
All right, Mr. Rangel, today is your plea deadline date. Are you accepting the state's offer or not? I'm sorry?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Which case are you all going to proceed on jury trial on?
So it would probably be first the ag assault of the judge.
All right, and how long are you expecting that trial to last?
2 to 3 days, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a jury trial date on Miguel Rangel. All right, and it's 2 days, and it's criminal trial division. Mr. Rangel, today was your plea deadline date. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements with a good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, what date?
I think it's September, we'll do that one on September 12th.
September 12th?
That's it.
All right, that's your jury trial date and state. I'll need the acknowledgements of discovery.
Yes, Judge.
All right, anything else? All right, you'll be brought over dressed for trial in whatever civilian clothing you have at the jail. If you would like to be attired in something different than what they have at the jail, you'll need to sign a clothing exchange. Counsel, if there's an issue with the clothing exchange, let the court know, and we'll see if we can expedite that.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Okay. All right, can I see Derek Reyes? Can I see the following Derek Reyes, please? All right, Mr. Reyes, you were late for court. Why?
I was not late for court. I was here when the door opened.
Ah, you're right. My
No
apologies.
problem.
All right, Mr. Reyes, your attorney can't be present today due to a funeral. So we're going to reset this.
Okay.
And we just received notice of that just now. So Ms. Ferguson, on this, if you can recall it for the week of either August 21st or August 28th.
Does Jason have anybody here? Yeah. People here.
Just, Thomas Blinko.
Oh, no, it's Derek Reyes.
Oh.
Nobody here? No family member?
I have my dad's here.
Okay.
All
right.
The 22nd.
All right, so we're going to come back on August 22nd. And if you sign the reset form, then you're excused.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Are you ready to approach? Okay, we're shutting down.
We're ready. I think we're.
Mr. Reyes, go ahead and come up. Reyes, Derek Reyes, come up.
Oh.
Here.
So sorry.
Joan Jett Ellis.
May we return?
Yes. Why were you late for court?
My grandpa's healthcare providers had just shown up right when I was
Your
I
Honor,
don't understand how that's,
may I?
yes.
His mother, who is here today, is his transportation.
Okay.
He lives with his grandfather and his mother. It's his mother's father's. He's in hospice. And there was basically a transition in the nurse. We've talked about, like, he needs to call me, we need to let you know.
Mhm.
If you want her to talk about it, she definitely will.
Oh, no, that's fine, but here's the thing, I understand that there are issues that pop up with people, but you need to make sure you're in court on time. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sometimes that may involve you taking the VIA bus. I don't know what people have against VIA. I used to ride the VIA bus. I used to ride the bus all the time. There's no shame in riding a bus for transportation, because basically transportation, you're trying to get from point A to point B. Sometimes people want to drive in the Rolls Royce or whatever the new $1 million car is. But really, whether that person is driving a Rolls Royce and I'm driving the Dodge hatchback, which they don't make anymore, guess what? It's all going to get us at the same place.
Yes, Your Honor.
So we were scheduled for this MTR, but then the defense attorney was in jury trial in impact court. So where are we on this motion to revoke?
Judge, we are asking for one more reset due to the last one. We've been trying to coordinate getting him into inpatient care and giving him some time with his grandfather as their as hospice plays itself out. So we would ask for one more reset to put all the pieces together. I think that's what we're gonna ask the court for in the end is inpatient. of
All
some
right,
sort.
so that needs to be done. We keep coming back on this. Here's the thing. The allegations in the motion, either they're true or they're not true. And I'm going to make a decision on what I'm going to do. If we hear this motion and he's an inpatient, maybe I'm not going to let him be an inpatient. Maybe he's going to prison. I don't know. But we're not going to continue to get a reset just so he can get his affairs in order. So this has been going on from the beginning of August. So we're recalling this for the week of August 28th, and everything that needs to be done needs to be done. It's either going to a contested hearing or not. Ms. Ferguson, on John Jett Ellis, can you set this for a contested hearing the week of August 28th? Okay. All right. So it's a contested hearing on August 28th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Oh, say, hey, Judge.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, good, good. I'm showing
Any
it.
more trips back to Japan?
I would love to go. I talked to some of my coworkers. And
Mhm.
It's been about 20 years. Like, we need a reunion.
Oh my gosh, I've never been. I would love to go. I'm watching
It's amazing.
this person. Her name is Sunday Love.
Uh-huh.
And so she lives in Japan and she's just bought a home in Japan that she's renovating. So I love to watch the travel to see what people are seeing.
Well, once you're in Japan, it's easy to get around anywhere. They've got great public transportation systems.
Well, in her video, she's always riding her bicycle.
Yeah, the bicycle too.
But they said that there's some place, I forget which place it is, the busiest crosswalk or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it really busy?
It's like a scene from Braveheart, where the armies are clashing and it happens every 10 minutes. There are just thousands of people just, well,
Oh, and how long do you have to cross the crosswalk? But I guess, are there cars driving or no?
oh, yeah, oh, yeah. Traffic busy 24/7. I mean, it never lets up.
So how long do you have to get through the crosswalk?
You've got your 30 seconds or so to get across the street.
Oh my, and if you don't, what happens?
Out of there.
Yeah, you just made sure you crossed
Everybody
it.
makes it. Everybody makes it, right?
Ah, yeah, that is on my list to do. She did an episode once where she was just to see the cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
And then they had a hard rain. She's like, ah. But there was some place she went, I can't think of the name of it, but you have the boat ride.
Oh.
And you do the canoe and you do the canoe yourself. And
That's fun.
there are the cherry blossoms that come overhead and it ends up being a beautiful photo. But of course, she said it's super crowded. So
Right, right. Spring is a good time to go see the cherry blossoms, but fall is also great weather.
is it very cold there? Does it snow?
Sometimes, like here, like every 15 years or something like that, 15, 20 years.
Okay.
But it is cold because it's on the water. So in the winter, when the wind comes off the water, it's like ice glass.
How did you enjoy teaching there? Was it?
Oh, it was great. I mean, my students were great. They had a fun time. And they wanted the teachers to be upbeat and happy and make sure everyone had fun in their classes. So I got to be my silly self and, you know.
Oh, wow.
It was great.
Oh, awesome. So were you teaching English or what were you teaching?
Yeah, English conversation. And so it was a school that had like total immersion. So even if we could speak Japanese, I said, don't do it. But every once in a while you get stuck. But there's no direct translation for a lot of stuff. And so I'd have to pull up the dictionary and go, it's this. And everyone goes, oh, okay, finally I understand.
Oh, wow. That is awesome.
I mean, it's funny. They always ask like, well, what's the word for this and that? And like these little tables all over Japan that have heaters underneath them, right? And so you're sitting kind of on the floor and you put your legs under the table with the heaters that's covered up. So they're asking, well, what are those called? And it's like, they're not called anything. They just don't exist in America.
No.
You know, it's like, that's just not a thing we have. It's like, so there's no word for that.
A table with a heater on it.
Low table heater thing.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm gonna have to, when I am able to go, I'm gonna call you so you can tell me what I need to do.
We'll go together.
Okay, awesome.
I'll take you around.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, we are ready on Garland. And this is family violence. Oh, come forward. Ms. Wheeler, you need to show your video. And unmute. All right, and Mr. Guy, are you stationary? I don't believe in zooming and driving.
Judge, yeah, let me pull over.
Okay, look at me saving lives in my spare time. All right, we're gonna go on the record. 2023 CR 3544, State of Texas versus Garland Green. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Ruben Herrera for the state.
Defense?
Robert Gear for defense, Your Honor.
All right, and you're Garland Green?
Yes, ma'am.
Any objections to Mr. Gear appearing by video, state?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, and any objection to Ms. Wheeler appearing by video?
No objection from the state.
All right, Ms. Wheeler, what are you wearing?
Clothes?
Oh, okay, all right, I just saw a shoulder, like, please have on clothing.
Yeah, I do.
All right, so there was a no contact order that was put in place by the court, and I informed both parties that I would reconsider if you appear. So if you can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You all can, excuse me, sir, Mr. Pettis, if you all can move down to that end. All right, if you'll state your name for the record.
Jesse Wheeler.
All right, Ms. Wheeler, I'm being asked to consider allowing you to have contact with Mr. Green. Has Mr. Green been staying with you since this incident?
Yes, off and on.
All Are y'all currently living together?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
All right, here's the thing. I'm not trying to trap anyone into the fact that they may have violated some sort of orders. I'm just trying to figure out whether or not he should be allowed to have contact with you. That's all I'm here for. So
Oh.
have you all been living together?
Yes.
All right. Have y'all been living together since this incident?
No.
All right. When did y'all start back living together?
We were told that the order was lifted. God, I think back in, I don't know, because CPS got involved and then she said the order was lifted. So that's when we were actually able to start staying with each other again.
And when was that? Has it been this month?
Has it been this month?
Yes.
Yeah, this month, last month. So.
All right. So are you all in counseling?
Yes, we are.
Couples counseling?
Marriage counseling, and we both do counseling separately.
Okay. Do you wish for Mr. Green to continue to stay at the home with you?
Yes.
All right. Any questions?
No question from the state.
All right, then I'm going to change the order to no harmful or injurious contact with Jesse Wheeler. Miss Wheeler, if there are any issues at the home, you can just let his probation officer know. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there anything you need from the court?
No, ma'am.
All right, anything else? All right, thank you. We'll close the record. Thank you, Mr. Greer. You can have a seat.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you, Miss Wheeler.
Thank you.
Richard Ramos. And state if there is anyone who has not, any defense attorney who has not appeared and they have someone in custody, you need to let the deputies know. All right, this is no application. Are you all ready to proceed?
Yes.
Court is calling 2023 CR 6038, State of Texas versus Richard Gabriel Ramos. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense.
Marshall D. White for Mr. Richard Ramos, the defendant, right?
And are you Mr. Richard Ramos?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Ramos, I'm going to need you to speak up so the court reporter can hear, okay? Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I believe I have it this time, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Ramos, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Are you proceeding with the enhancement allegation?
Yes, we are. Your Honor. And Judge, just.
Sorry. That's no, my fault. Mr. Ramos, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of assault of a public servant bodily injury? If the enhancement allegation is proven to be true, that will be a second-degree felony. The range of punishment will be anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to need you to speak up, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I should know the papers, okay.
Oh, that's okay. All right. Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yeah, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do believe he does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do believe he was, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramos, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yeah.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, you agree that you've been previously convicted of a previous felony. Punishments be assessed at 7 years in the prison. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration 2023 CR 6039 and 712653. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense,
Yes, Your Honor.
state,
Yes, Your Honor.
showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Mr. Ramos, showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
What was that again, ma'am? Sorry.
All right. Did you understand the waiver of appeal paragraph that you signed? This paragraph where your signature is listed. Did you understand it?
No. Can you read it again?
I'm sorry, what?
No, can you read it again?
What did he say?
He said, no, like, can you read it again?
All right. So, first of all, did you sign this?
Oh, yes.
Did you go over it with your attorney?
Yes.
All right. When you sign this, what you're saying is that you are waiving your right to appeal. And waiving your right to appeal is, in layman's terms, waiving your right to complain about a sentence. Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? Now, the only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. You understand? Did you understand that?
Well, I didn't understand the appeal, no.
All right, do you understand it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you still wish to continue?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, they have not. But I will just say, Judge, with respect to this, it's the same documents, certification of your right of appeal. It's the same thing. Okay, you understand? The judge goes along with it. You just have no right to appeal. I did explain that to you.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
And to the enhancement, how do you plead? True or not true?
Enhancement is a prior conviction.
What do you mean, like the enhancement of?
The prior conviction.
Oh, yeah.
Did you review?
You have to say true or not true. Is it true?
It's not true.
It's not.
All right, so I'm going to read it to you and I want you to answer if it's true or not true, okay? It says, and it is further presented in and to said court that before the commission of the offense alleged above, and when they say offense alleged above, they mean what you're here for now, on the 16th day of July 80, 2010, and cause number 2006 CR 9302 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant was convicted of the felony of possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. So is that true? Were you previously convicted of that felony?
Yes, ma'am.
So do you plead true to that?
Well, yeah, that I went to prison for that, yes.
All right, so is it true or not true?
True.
Okay. State any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Your Honor. State Exhibit number 1 with all of its attachments.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramos, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state is going to be presenting their evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. The court will find the enhancement true based upon your plea of true and based upon states exhibits 1 and attachments. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Respectfully, Your Honor, we ask the court to follow the plea bargain that Mr. Ramos has entered into with the state of Texas.
All right, Mr. Ramos, it appears that you were having a bad day.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you have any mental health issues?
I don't know.
Prior drug issues?
I had an evaluation for DWI.
Okay. All right. The court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 7 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration 2023 CR 6039 and County Court Cause number 712653. Counsel, is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ramos, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am. That's it.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Ramos, do you have any family in Bear County?
Ma'am.
Do you have any family here?
Yes, yes.
Do you have a support system?
Yeah.
All right.
So yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, counsel. So when you get out of prison, you need to make some changes, because otherwise, if you pick up a new offense, your attorney, I'm sure, has probably told you this. I know he probably did. You will be listed as a habitual. And if and if you're listed as a habitual and you pick up a felony, depending on the felony it is, your minimum sentence would be 25 years. How old are you?
34.
All right, at some point, you're going to get to the point where I am, which is I'm in the twilight of my life. You only have about 20 more years before you're in the twilight of your life. Don't let the majority of your time have been spent in prison. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
All right, thank you. Good luck,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Ramos.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna follow up on the other things. No, it has. I'll be back. I got grab.
All right. David Duenas. Hello, good morning. So what is happening with this case? Last time we were here is for CPS records,
Your Honor,
and they don't exist, or do they exist?
I think they do. And so I'm not entirely sure why we don't have them. We did subpoena them back in, I think, March, right before it was indicted. My investigators at lunch, I've been texting him. But we are also conferring on a plea. Contemporaneous with trying to track that down, and I think we may be close to that. So I would just respectfully ask for maybe a week so I can get a final answer on the CPS.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you put this at the end of August or either the week of August 21st?
August 21st.
Yes, please.
All right, we'll see you all back here on August 31st.
Excellent, Your Honor.
Just sign the reset form and then you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, the next person up is Thomas Blinko. And this is an application probation.
Yes, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2021 CR 9763C, State of Texas versus Thomas Blinko. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Deerhead, Your Honor.
Defense?
Roger Pettis, Your Honor.
And are you Thomas Blinko?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
I have, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Blinko, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yeah.
That's either yes or no.
Yes.
All right. Going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Blinko, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of robbery? If the state presents evidence that proves the repeater paragraph, then your range of punishment will be anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in, the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Blinko, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. State recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
It is, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
Any such questions? Any such questions?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours of community service restitution, no contact with Jeremy Fierce, Fearce, Juan Mello, Mello, Anthony Kochanski, Kochanski. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to abide by those recommendations? Then to the offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
And to the enhancement allegation, how do you plead? True or not true?
True.
State any evidence to support the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. State Exhibit number 1 with all of its attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. The court will find the enhancement true based upon your plea of true in states exhibits 1 and attachments. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
2 things, Your Honor. One, may I present this folder with a few
Yes.
letters? And I have 2 individuals here. But before I ask them to come up, I have been touched by Mr. Blinko, not by him personally as much as by the support that he has here. He had 6 people here. 1 has had to leave. And you have many of the pieces of correspondence that basically cite him as a success story. This gentleman was a homeless gentleman before. Once he got through this cycle, he's become a volunteer, an amazing volunteer, to the extent that he had 6 people here in court all morning waiting to share with me and with you, Your Honor, and with him. It's been very emotional for him, but they're amazing. And 2 of them would like to share just a couple of comments.
Okay, and he's still at the Pay It Forward?
I'm sorry?
Is he still at the Pay It? Are you still at Pay It Forward?
Yes.
All right. And I understand that all of this started with allegations that the victims were selling drugs
Correct.
underneath the bridge. So I'm aware of all of these programs. So this truly is a success story. And I understand that there are issues that happen. I mean, next time you just got to call the police. You understand?
Yes.
All right. So who would you like to bring forward?
Brittany and Valerie.
Sure. No, it doesn't have to be on the record. Hello.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Brittany Ackerson. I am the Assistant Director of Courtroom San Antonio and have been working with Mr. Thomas Blinko for years. If you don't mind, I wrote some notes down. Okay. We've worked with him for a very long time and he's done a lot for this community. So this is just a couple that I could pull off the top of my head.
Okay.
First of all, how he got arrested was he got his birth certificate and he was really excited. He's never had a Texas ID before. So in doing the ID recovery process, found out he had the warrant and then waited outside for PD. When PD showed up, they knew who he was and the police officer tried to go talk to the magistrate judge, but wasn't able to do that. So Mr. Blinko was living under the bridge for quite some time and ran the bridge for quite some time. He got into inpatient treatment on his own volition. He came to us, said, I need to go to detox. I need to go to treatment. And I said, we like to test people. If they really want it, they're going to show up. So I told Blinko, show up tomorrow. And he did. And I took him to detox and treatment. He graduated treatment. He went into outpatient treatment on his own. He goes to AA meetings throughout the city of San Antonio and leads them. He shows up at Corazon and Cam literally every day to give back to his peers that he lived with on the streets. He's trained police cadets in homelessness, which I'm sure Val will speak more about. He shows up as a father to his children. his actual children than his children out in the street as well. He's reconnected with family for the first time in years. He's encouraged people to seek treatment throughout the city. So this is where I'm going to try not to get emotional, but I will. So not only does he show up for his fellow peers, homeless, that I appreciate you. My eyes are leaking. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
So not only does he show up for his peers out on the street and direct them in changing their life, he knows the severity of what we do working with the unsheltered population, and that we're surrounded with death more so than life. So as we are helping people, he comes in and supports us as well. He truly is a success story and a model in this community. And I'm really proud of him. That's all I have. Thank you
All right,
so
thank
much.
you so much for coming down and show support. Hello.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Valerie Salas. I'm the Director of Homeless Services at Christian Assistance Ministry. I'm also a person with lived
I'll
experience.
slow down a little bit.
Sorry.
That's okay. Don't be nervous.
I'm very nervous.
I think I may have met you before, but okay.
Probably I'm a person with lived experience as well. I've been sober, clean and sober for 9 years. I'm also the board chair president of the lived experience advisory board under Sarah, which is South Alamo Regional Alliance of the Homeless. And I met Thomas in 2017, and I just want to say his transformation is we're in recovery, we're a program of action, not promotion. And he's wholeheartedly stepped into that. I've sat in with him, not just from I used to case manage him, but it grew into something more where we needed him and where the areas we needed him in is his story and testimony of the way he lives his life now. We partner really closely with SAPD. We started a cadet program with them where we actually train the cadets before they hit the streets to understand what it is to serve the homeless, because many of the calls will be on the homeless. He's the first person we pulled in and testify and share his story with them, and he does those with us. He shows up every day to our campus to serve. I've sat in with AA meetings with him when he gets his sobriety chips and see the light that goes off when that happens. I'm sorry.
No problem.
But I personally, as a person with lived experience and a person who runs a campus that helps a lot of people, we need that light to show others that recovery is possible and that a second chance of life is possible. And Tomas is a living and breathing example of that. So
Right.
that's really all I have.
Thank you so much. And thank you all so much for coming. So here's the number one question. He's probably not going to be released from the Bexar County Jail till 1 a.m. So is there going to be somebody available to pick him up? Okay, so everybody said they'll pick you up. All right, I appreciate the fact that we're back on the record. I appreciate the fact that you actually found out you had a warrant, turn yourself in. Most people who are not in recovery, they try to dodge things instead of saying, this is a problem, this is an issue, I'm going to face it head on. So I appreciate that. And the testimony that they've given to you reminds me of when I go to drug court graduations or graduations from treatment and see the changes in people. So I really appreciate that. All right, but next time, call police, don't confront anybody, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Whatever consideration you can make on the agreement based on those comments, we'd appreciate, Your Honor.
All right. So this is what the court will do. Court is finding you guilty. As previously stated, the enhancement true. Court will sentence you to 6 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 3 years. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. 200 hours of community service restitution probation. The community work that he does, once you get information about what he's doing in the community, you can count that towards his community service hours. And are you going to be staying at Pay It Forward? All right. So I'm going to put out here you to reside at Pay It Forward. Once they do their transitioning, which I know they do, just keep in contact with probation.
Yes, ma'am.
There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. regular UAs and probation. Some of the programs that he's involved in, they do the UA. So if you all want to coordinate with them on that, you can. And it's the same thing with field visits. I'm going to order field visits 4 times over the span of his length of probation. There's to be no contact. I don't know how he does the no contact if these persons are homeless.
One person is incarcerated, Your Honor, and the other is also on probation. But you're right, we'll waive that if that makes it.
All right, so we'll waive the no contact, but you know who the parties are. Hopefully, do not have any contact with them. If you see anything suspicious, then you'll just need to call the police. You understand? And he's to continue with his current treatment plan. And that includes the sober support meetings that he does.
The AA meeting?
Yes, they call them sober support meetings here, but they're the same thing.
Yes.
All right, and there's to be proof of employment within 60 days of release. There's to be.
Judge, he's on SSI and primarily volunteering his time.
All right, so you'll need to provide then proof of employment or either SSI within 60 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else? No, Your Honor. Is there anything else you need from the court? All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. I'm going to return this to you so that he can have it. And great work. I'm glad that you have changed your life.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, I will. Oh, okay, I will. And you all, thank you. Can I have everybody come up, please? The people came to support him. Oh, one, he wants to know who he can call for a ride.
Just run down the list. Run down the list. If one doesn't answer, call the next.
All right, I want to thank you all for coming down to support him, because sometimes when bad things happen to you and you are saying in your mind, I'm on the straight path, how could this happen? Things tend to go downhill because you're thinking nobody's going to believe I've ever changed. So I want to thank you all so much for supporting him and for the work that you do in the community, because without you all, community is not going to get better. I am one of those judges that I believe if the community can be protected and people still get their treatment and change their lives around, I'm all for it 100%. And I know the state and defense counsel will tell you that as well. So thank you all for what you do in the community. And if ever you want to bring somebody down here to see what happens in the court, you're always welcome, because sometimes people go to prison because that's what happened. And it happens sometimes. I don't take any joy in sending people to prison though. But I know I've met some of you to different events I've gone through in this San Antonio heat. People don't realize that you guys are out there and it's 100 degrees and there's no fan and it's hot. I go out there and I'm from the South. I tell people I am not glistening anymore. I'm sweating. It's just you're drenched. So I really appreciate that. And if you all ever need anything or there's some issues or some programs you want to let me know about, please feel free to come in and talk to me about that and drop off whatever documents you have, because I will take use of programs that are available for people. We're always looking for different things for mothers with children, for young people, because we get a lot of those in here. All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Hey, stay hydrated.
Your Honor, can I have 60 seconds?
All right. I'm gonna put the timer on.
I've got it. John Meyer, we're set for October 11th, I believe.
Yes.
I have Baird, my lawyer, my counsel in Austin.
Yes.
Mr. Garahan told me that December 4th would work on his calendar. Mr. Wilkins, I think, agrees. Can we set it for December 4th?
I'll need the file. So if you grab the file in the back.
Does
Yes.
that count on my 60 seconds?
Yeah, you're 60. Yeah, you got to run, Mark. Okay, thank you. All right. Sir, who are you?
That's my client.
Ah.
And there were signs that said.
One sign, Judge.
One sign. So did you get your paperwork done? Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. All right, we're ready. Let's do this. I'm sorry. It's for deferred counsel. I'm sorry, probation. Look at me.
We will need a PSI.
All right.
Your Honor, it's silent.
Okay. Court is calling 2019 CR 6497A, State of Texas versus Mark Anthony Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar from the state of Texas.
Defense.
Joseph Stateson.
And are you Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
I did review, understand this.
Showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Okay. Going to show you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find. I'm sorry, just 1 second. See, this is what happens when you multitask. I'm reading the police report plus giving him instructions. Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 20 years in prison? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rodriguez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Absolutely.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Who's the no contact order against?
Oh, sorry, I think I added that.
No problem. The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it? According to plea, punishment is be assessed at 8 years in the prison. There are no, the state is silent on your application. There's to be restitution, if any, to Jose Montoya. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and the court, if the court finds there was a deadly weapon, then the court will find there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Do you understand that as well?
Yes.
Okay. Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
I had filed some motions. Because we worked a deal out, for the record, I think we had 13 prior settings with Raymond Martinez who did not file motions.
Okay.
I expedited motions being filed, but my client had accepted an offer So I don't believe the motions have been presented for a hearing.
All right, then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contact.
State any evidence?
State offer states exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objection, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign them in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to a jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments or review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. This will come back on August 12th. We'll do a PSI and TAP evaluation. At that time, the court will make its decision on your application based upon any evidence that's presented and also the PSI report. Yes. I'm sorry, October 12th. I'm just seeing if everybody's listening to what I'm saying. So we'll bring you back on August 12th, okay? I keep saying August 12th. Why do I keep saying that? It's been a long day. October 12th. That's when we'll bring you back. And Justice Stateson's so nice. He was trying to interrupt me without interrupting me. Because no matter what you say to Joseph, his level stays here. He's like,
I don't raise my voice.
it's like, that day has passed, so we're going back in time. All right, we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a seat, Procedural. Actually, somebody's.
Yes, in the chat. All right, so December 4th. Is that correct?
Please, Your Honor.
All right, we'll see you December 4th.
Now, is that the date both of us need to be here, jury selection the next day?
Is that a Tuesday or a Monday?
Monday.
No, we'll start jury selection on Tuesday. So both of you all will need to be here on the 5th. And so you will be here on the 4th,
I'll be
though,
here on the 4th
with your client.
with Mr. Meyer, and Mr. Baird will be available on the 5th, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So the only persons we have left is we have Amanda Griffin. All right, can I see the file on Amanda Griffin? Miss Griffin, why were you late?
I'm sorry, man. I was late. I ran into traffic and
Oh, come forward.
I apologize. It won't happen again.
All right, where are we on discovery?
Yes, Judge. With regard to discovery, we believe there may be some outstanding videos. Judge, the offense report does mention that the complaining witness stated that she believed there may be a video at the location. So I notified the state and we'd be requesting for them to double check if that's in the state's possession, that'd be turned.
All right, is that the only thing, just the videos?
I believe at this time, yes.
All right. Ms. Ferguson, if you can recall this for 30 days, that will be the last setting for discovery, and you need to make sure you're on time.
Yes, ma'am, of course.
Okay.
August 8th, I mean, September 18th.
September
See,
18th.
everybody's doing it. September 18th.
I can't believe we're already there. It's crazy.
Yes.
Thank you. And I
All
appreciate
right.
the court's
Once
time.
you're welcome. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
I'm sorry, Judge, you won't have.
No problem. All right, and could I see? We need Eric Flores. I know he's been sent back.
Paper you want?
Page 13. He's in custody. Eric Thomas Flores.
Lara sent them back already.
No, I know. He's been sent back. His attorney didn't show.
No, his attorney did show up.
Chumley?
Yeah, it was late
Oh, well, when are we bringing him back?
on Thursday. Thursday? Yes, Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday.
All right, so he'll be back on Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, Thursday. And then we have Matthew Dotson.
Yeah, he did not show up.
All right, then file a motion to revoke and I'll sign it. And then Cristobal Miranda.
We're bringing it back Thursday, Judge.
Okay.
Lara sent them back.
Oh, yeah, those are the rules. We said we're gonna follow our rules.
And Mr. Wallace did not show up either, but his warrant is active.
All right, and Ms. Glass.
Glass did not come in.
All right, and neither did our attorney show?
I received an email from Adrian Bettis about a week ago, and I forgot to forward it to you, Judge.
All right.
I asked for it to get recalled next week, but that was my fault. So he was asking for it to be recalled.
All right, put it on. Well, I like in this court, when we make mistakes, we own it. That's what I say. All right, so we will put it on.
He was asking for the 21st.
All right, we'll do August 21st. And see, that was a mistake, not a choice. So we'll put it on August 21st. All right, so I think we're done for today, and then I will see you all back on Monday. But on Monday, we are doing our book club meeting, no matter what goes down. Monday, we're doing our book club meeting. No matter what goes down, we're doing our book club meeting. Yeah. So we're going, well, you know what? If I mention the name Chloe, it'll all come back to you. All I have to do is say Chloe. Or either I'll say, let me babysit the baby. Then you'll remember. Okay. So we will do that. And